Okay, good morning. This week we're kind of at midterm, and I always like to take in my classes the midterm week to kind of kick back and relax a little bit and reassess and decide how things are going to go for the rest of the semester. So there are going to be three little discussions this week that are required, and really nothing else. So I want to take this week to reassess, to think about some stuff, and for you to assess your grades and see where you are and that sort of thing. So the way I think about grades is this: they're not a very good predictor of future success, but they're all we've got. And frankly, most students, you want to know how you're doing. In the best of all possible worlds, you would be here and be so anxious and hungry to learn that I wouldn't be able to keep you away if I wanted to. And in the best of all possible worlds, you would do your very best on every assignment because that's who you are. Well, this is not that world, and we all get that. So you might want to take a look at your grades. I will do my very best to get midterm grades in, get your latest big essay graded by the end of the week, but I do have to go in for a little outpatient surgery on Monday, and I may be laid up for a couple days, but I'll keep you posted on that. So if you're interested in where we are at this point, I got it written down here. We have 29 A's, we have 8 B's, we have 8 C's, we have 5 D's, 3 F's, and then there are 5 people on the roster who haven't done anything since the beginning of term, and I will be dropping them. So as you can see, the class is skewing high. Out of the 57 people that are still on the roster, taking the 5 people away who are doing nothing, out of the 52 people who are still really with us, 29 of those people are pulling A's, and some of them are solid almost A pluses. So we're skewing a little high. That tells me the class is probably right about where it should be, although maybe a little bit on the easy side. So I'm going to send you the perfect student, the test student who I have in my class who gets 100% on every assignment, and I'm going to send you that student's record because that student doesn't exist. And you can see where you are in relationship to that student who's done everything and showed up at all the forums and everything. The other thing, when you're looking at your grades, one cool feature on Canvas is if you look over on the right hand side, you see a little check mark there, and I think it's got, I forget what else it is, but there's a check mark attached to it, and if you check on that, you can enter a hypothetical grade and see how it affects your total GPA. So let's say you did an 81 on the first essay, 81%, you can click on that and see how it would have affected your grade if you did a 92 on that essay. How it would have affected your total GPA. And I express the GPA as a percentage, which you can then translate into the 90 to 100 as an A, 80 to 90 as a B, and so on. So that's one way you can do a check to see, well, if you had done better on this essay, how would that have affected your grade, and how much better would you have needed to do to affect your total GPA. Excuse me. You'll notice when I send things back, I make suggestions about improvement. So with every paper I grade, and the reason I'm so slow grading is because I sit down and I look at every paper and I think, okay, if I were writing this paper, knowing what I know, this is what I would do to make it better. And then I write those suggestions to you, all the way from checking sort of basic stuff like essay structure and topic sentences and paragraph structure to other more sophisticated ways of improving your thought process. So I make those suggestions. Whether you go and do that stuff is really entirely up to you. But the way to raise your grade is to do the stuff I ask you to do. And then if you don't understand that, ask me a question. Like if I say go look at the title resource, what I mean is there's a resource in the how-to module that tells you how to write a good title. So go look at that and make a better title next time. That will raise your grade. So I don't just apply judgments to your paper. I do that, but I also apply, and more importantly, I apply suggestions for improving on the next one. I can say you need to go here and do that, and I can suggest it. I can even almost demand it, but you've got to go and do it. That's the piece that's sometimes missing. Okay, so grades are grades. Grades are what they are, and you should probably check yours and see where you are at midterm. It's typically true that most of us have pretty much decided how it's going to go, and I seldom see much of a change from midterm. So where you are at midterm is probably where you're going to end up. And if where you are at midterm is not where you want to be, then you need to make some changes like yesterday. And again, I can help and suggest and provide guidance, but I can't do that for you. You know that. You're adults. So this first discussion is just asking you to talk about your grade. You don't have to say what your specific grade is. That's a personal matter, and you don't have to share that information. But if you're satisfied with your grade, talk to your colleagues about what you've done to get and keep this grade. And if you're not satisfied with your grade, you can just say, I'm not satisfied with my grade, and here's what I'm going to do to improve it. And there are specific steps you can take, starting with actually doing the stuff that I suggest for you to do on your essays. That's where you'd start, is to take the suggestions and actually do them. It's like going to the doctor and then doing the treatment that the doctor suggests, or not doing the treatment. But if you don't do the treatment, then you can't expect an improvement. It's that simple. This part is not rocket science, nor is it terribly complicated. It's just hard to do sometimes. Okay, so this first discussion asks you to talk about your grade in general terms, and either say you're satisfied with it and here's what you've done to make yourself satisfied so far, or you're not satisfied with it, and you're going to do X, Y, and Z to improve the grade. Or if you're not going to do anything, then no, probably your grade will remain the same, or it will go south. And again, that choice is yours. I can help you, but I can't do the work for you. Okay, so I'm going to get this one up, and there will be a couple more in which we're going to discuss more, some theory and some practice and things like that. And that's all we need to do this week, is talk in these three discussions. Take a breath, draw a breath, and reassess what needs to happen for you. I have a couple of things that I think need to happen for all of us, which I'll be talking about in the next one. Okay, bye.